Good evening, everyone. Thank you for having us in. While officials wouldn't go into the financial specifics of this arrangement, they did elaborate on what patients can get from what's regarded as the world leader in medicine. How are you? Okay. We have the crowd reaction. How are you feeling? 10's already a big birthday. It's that first year of double digits. But in Silver's case, he's turning 10 on the 10th day of the 10th month of the 10th year of the millennium.
You've reached so many millions of people. And the thing that amazes me the most about you is it came from losing your own child. How do you process that?
The part of Matt's death and is taken, it never goes away.
Strapping on these flood waders for another flood. Who would buy a coffin? The volunteers here say the upkeep of this park is pretty important. Just after 9 o'clock tonight, we got a call over the scanner saying a trailer at a trailer park just west off of Highway 2 in Amarillo was on fire. It's still not too late to cast your vote in the special election for the Grand Forks Public Library. As Dahl and his wife watched from the road over there, they had thought about going into their basement. Of course, watching it on the big screen with a few thousand of your closest friends is much better than just watching it at home.
Judy Shepard has been instrumental in changing the way we view hate crimes. She says beyond the politics, there are other things in the media getting our attention. Here's part 2 of my interview with Judy Shepard. Television show Glee.
Right.
And Lady Gaga.
Oh yeah, Lady Gaga's been amazing for us. She's I don't even know what to call her. She's a phenomena all her own, right? And Glee's been so huge in introducing a gay character who's struggling, but with extended family and a supportive family, biological family. It's been an amazing. But we see more and more positive depictions of the gay community on TV now. My generation, we didn't have that.
Headlines made about bullying. What does it do to a nation when we hear about these stories about these kids who are just taunted for being different?
It's been a problem for a long time. Teen suicide of young kids is bad enough, but when you throw in sexual orientation or gender identity, it just grows exponentially. And this isn't a new thing, but we just started hearing about it in mainstream media this year. It's a tragedy. It's a loss of humanity.
Because when you get right down to it, the bullied and the bullies they all start as someone's child.
Well, they do. And bullies have issues or they wouldn't be bullies. But if we just send them home and then bring them back without addressing those issues, we've not accomplished anything. It's time to stop making the bullied the victim and to try to help them become someone who can actually fight back.
That's so gay. And we hear that and it starts that way and it can really get to a different level. It
does escalate very quickly if we don't call people on it, especially certain people. It's become so much a part of our vernacular, that's so gay, that we need to challenge, especially our young kids, to think that that is not a proper way to speak about anything.
Judy constantly challenges the political world. In 2009, President Barack Obama signed the Matthew Shepard Act into law, expanding hate crime laws to include crimes motivated by a victim's actual or perceived gender, sexual orientation, and gender identity. A legacy she's created for him.
If I weren't doing this, Matt would be doing this, and I just try to do him justice.
We all know him as Matthew Shepard, but to you he was Matt. Who was your Matt?
He was a smart, funny, handsome young man who loved to argue and debate, ask questions, and sort of upset the apple cart frequently. That was his goal in life, I think. He was a very intelligent young man who just didn't think the status quo was good enough.
You titled your book, The Meaning of Matthew. So what's the meaning of Judy?
Congratulations, you've asked me a question I've not been asked before. I'm a mom, and I just want to communicate that to people, that loving your kids is the most important thing you can do in your life.
The 2 men who killed Matthew Shepard, Aaron McKinney and Russell Henderson, are both serving 2 life sentences without parole.
Just throwing the ball and all worked.
Long enough to get Iverson a perfect 300 score at the end of a game in February.
Just depends on how good you feel that day.
About a week later, he got another perfect 300. Then again after another week. Then, number 4.
To do 4 of them in 26 days is
feat that I don't think anybody's done around here.
You know, getting a 200 game is probably a good game for us, you know, and we're amazed with that, let alone the 300 and then that many in that short period of time was kind of cool.
I just got friends congratulating me and telling me how amazing it is, and to me it's bowling.
And it has been since he was 5 when he picked up his first ball. He learned a valuable technique in the 36 years since.
Repetitions, repetitions, to keep on throwing.
Now I have to wonder, how hard can rolling a perfect game be?
Some people it's easy, some people it's tough.
Not so tough for Iverson. About an hour after this interview, a 5th perfect 300, 9 days since his last one. Schools in Minnesota, like Crookston High School, say not passing a proposed referendum levy could make trouble in the next few years.
That one. Now we'll go ahead and continue with what we're looking at.
One-on-one time with students is an important part of Stephen Kofed's job.
11 plus 5t squared plus t.
But it's getting harder to do.
Our state obviously is struggling, and that's a lot of where some of our stuff is coming from.
It's leading to fewer teachers and fewer programs in Minnesota schools like Crookston High School.
Every year it seems like March turns out to be who's on the chopping block and what can we, you know, look at getting rid of to go ahead and free up some money.
The school district is hoping for a little relief this midterm election. A levy referendum is on the ballot this year to help raise funds for the school district. If passed on November 2nd, it would put a $195 hike in property tax on an average priced home in Crookston of $78,000. Kofed says that's a relatively small increase per month.
You know, $16, you just don't go out to eat twice a month and all of a sudden your $16 is right there.
What we're doing is for their children, so this is the only thing that's left at our disposal.
The Crookston School District has already cut $2 million in programs and let go of 12 teachers in the past 2 years.
30% of our budget money is held back by the state and used to balance the state's budget. We have to borrow money just to pay cash flow.
The tax would affect most residential homes with refund possibilities. Not affected, ag properties. But referendums like this have been voted down year after year in Crookston.
They used to call operating levies an excess or a surplus levy, but now school districts are everywhere pursuing these operating levies because they just want to operate. We just want enough money to get by.
We have to start looking at class sizes of 30, 35 across the board. You know, if it doesn't go, it's going to be something that we have to start looking forward and saying, you know, do we need to wait 2 more years to really figure out that times aren't great?
Right now, river levels in Grand Forks, East Grand Forks. The Red River is at 41.96 feet. The river is now expected to hit 51 feet sometime on Wednesday.
There is one less Republican candidate for president this evening. Real estate mogul Donald Trump says he is not running for president. The businessman and reality TV star said he won't seek the Republican nomination. In our World Wrap tonight, President Barack Obama toured the storm wreckage of the South today. The toll of the tornadoes a record 211 in one day on Wednesday. An EF5 had winds up to 205 miles an hour. But this outbreak had more than one punch. Tornadoes packing winds just under 200 miles an hour hit 5 states from Arkansas to Tennessee. It's a piece of landmark legislation that gives back, returning part of North Dakota's surplus to its residents. Lawmakers approved a bill that gives nearly $500 million in tax relief and cuts. It continues property tax relief at $350 million and puts $120 million toward cutting the income tax rate and reduces corporate taxes. We're so happy you chose to end your week with us here at WDAZ. Good night. Have a safe and wonderful weekend.